what's on the menu, and by menu, that could be interpreted as things you intend to eat or things you intend to do.
I'm going to make some gnocchi. You'd be pleased to practice.
Gnocchi is what he said, ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls and everything in between. He said gnocchi. He just doesn't know how to talk proper.
Yes, I'm going to make some gnocchi. I'm going to knock up some gnocchi, and well, that doesn't sound right, does it?
It really doesn't, because I'm thinking, wow, you get intimate in the kitchen. Yikes.
Well, they're really well cooked.
My binding agent would be water, but you do you, kiddo. The English language. Wow, what a roller coaster.
I don't want to. Yeah, I think I'm going to be living on a prayer.
Well, you're halfway there, Simon.
That's right.
So that's okay.
I was thinking that you probably could sing that song quite well.
As in, I could probably remember the lyrics,
yes.
Or as in, it's in my range.
Both.
I think John Bon Jovi's like kind of
bit high?
a bit more of a tenor than I am.
Yeah, but can you give it a little bit of a go? Yeah.
Oh, we're halfway there. Oh, living on a prayer. Take my hand, we'll make it, I swear. Oh, living on a prayer. Living on a prayer.
Do you know, this is all my dreams come true. This is a podcast in which two friends talk about the pleasures, absurdities, and imperfections of being human. I'm Simon Ellis.
And I'm Lee Miller. Welcome to Midlifing.
I was at the pub on Thursday night with your wife.
Which is hilarious, because I haven't been to a pub with my wife in probably about 7 years. So
and Living on a Prayer was on the radio, and I leaned over to Bob and said, "I reckon Lee would sing that pretty well." And she said, "He'll know all the lyrics too."
I think she deserves some kind of an award for 30 years of being able to put up with me wandering around the house, having to get an entire song out, which sometimes requires me singing it 17, 18 times before I've remembered everything. So it's like a purging. It's like I become possessed with things. There was one the other day that was driving me mad.
Wasn't Two Little Boys by Rolf Harris, was it?
No, because that's really easy to know all the words. I know all the words all the way through. And I still find it deeply emotionally affecting, because there are many other artists who have covered that song. So I will happily sing it and just not think of Rolf Harris.
Yes. So you can. So it doesn't upset you.
The taint of paedophilia.
I don't. Yeah. It's just the word taint. It's just like the whiff. Like.
Oh, you see, I was thinking about.
Yeah, how it's tainted.
Now I'm going to have to cut this out.
You are.
But I was thinking about the space between one thing and the other.
I don't know what that means.
Oh. Well, you know what the taint is on a human man?
No.
Oh my God, Simon. So you were thinking taint as in whiff. I was thinking taint as in the bit between the arsehole and the ball sack. Have you never heard that referred to as the taint?
Oh, I've never heard it.
You've never heard of the taint?
Yeah, no. I mean, it's a gallery.
Because it tain't one thing nor the other. I've also heard it referred to as the Stinky Bridge.
The what? The Stinky?
The Stinky Bridge.
Oh.
This definitely is going to need to have content warning at the beginning today.
I just can't get Tate Modern out of my head.
What would a taint modern be? I guess it would be
anything born after 1990. No, no, cut that out.
Yeah. Wow, we went down a path there.
We sure did. Also, the thing about that kind of path, if you want to call it, or dark alley, is that that was accidental.
Nothing that you have said today is accidental.
No, it's true. I did mention Rolf Harris because Bob said that you really like that song.
Did she say that it makes me cry if I sing it?
She did say that as well.
Did she also list all the other songs that make me cry if I sing?
No, something got interrupted. The conversation got interrupted by some other inanity that was not nearly as interesting as hearing about songs that make you cry.
You mean I wasn't the centre of a conversation that I wasn't?
Oh, but only briefly. Only briefly.
Well, I'm appalled that something interrupted even briefly.
Trombone.
Okay, that's an instrument I play.
I just did not know that. You played the trombone in
in two different town bands.
Wow.
And I think I got up to grade. I can't remember if I got grade 7 or grade 8. I think it was grade 7 playing and grade 8 theory, and then I stopped.
And why did you stop? Teenage.
I also think that probably I'm laziness. It's just not being a teenager. I think I am lazy in terms of acquiring skill in that way. Yoga is literally the only thing that I've committed to maintaining a practice over an extended period of time. Everything else I've gone, oh, this is interesting. I'm bored already.
Right. But that's sustained grade 7 or 8. I don't really know what that thing means, but it's obviously better than grade 2, right? And so it's like it was sustained for some period of time. And could you still play the trombone now? Like, if you picked up one and got rid of all the saliva out of the middle of it, could you?
Well, there wouldn't be saliva in it after probably over 30 years.
I was thinking someone else's trombone, but maybe that's not.
Oh, right, okay.
Maybe you don't share trombones.
Well, the trombone bit is the thing that isn't particularly worrisome, but I have my own mouthpiece somewhere, so I would put my own mouthpiece in it. Because that's what, when if I played in a band and I wasn't taking my trombone with me, you would still take your mouthpiece and you just pick up one of the band trombones and swap out the mouthpiece so that your mouth wasn't going where anybody else had been. Also, you can decide what kind of a mouthpiece you have. You know, I had a very nice Boozy and Hawks, or still have somewhere, a very nice Boozy and Hawks mouthpiece.
Boozy and Hawks.
Boozy and Hawks, that was the name of the make.
Yeah, sure.
I could probably get some scales out of it. I can remember, if I close my eyes and imagine I've got my trombone in front of me.
You can't play Living on a Prayer, can you, on it?
Oh, Christ, no.
Oh, wouldn't that be amazing?
I'm not that capable. I wasn't that capable when I was playing. I read music well enough, and I could play well enough to be in a band, but trombones don't have a lot to do. Also, I think I was like the second, or was I the second trombone? Second trombone, so I wasn't even the most important trombone in the band. So
right.
Why are we talking about me playing the trombone? This has got to be the least interesting thing ever.
I don't know if that's the case. I think I like the idea that you used to have to turn your trombone upside down to allow all the saliva to run out of it, and then put it back.
You don't have to turn it upside down. There's a little valve at the bottom that you
really?
just blow through. Yeah,
I know nothing about music.
In all brass instruments, there's a spit valve.
So you did bring something to the table. Is that what you're saying? Sorry, that was because Bob and I were talking, and she was just laughing about how we haven't seen each other in a long time. She and I, and also, but she says that you're strangely present in our house every week.
Yes. Yeah.
So yes, and then those things came up. So I did want to get living on a prayer from you. That's for sure.
Okay, good. Well, I'm glad to have to scratch your itch.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure.
I love having my itches scratched. I'm just going to say two words, and I'll just with a little joining word: hope and disappointment.
Hope and disappointment.
Yeah, or you could just start with hope. Do you think you're someone who's hopeful, and is that how? And what does it mean to you? Oh, sorry to disappoint you.
No, you didn't disappoint me. You just put that was I think to answer your question, yes, I consider myself to be hopeful.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I don't know that I keep the same level of hopefulness about everything.
So it's dependent on the thing.
Well, I think there are, yes, and I think there are moments, for example, where I guard my heart.
And what do you, oh, go on.
No, go
I
ahead.
was going to say, what are you most hopeful, or what gives you the most hope?
Okay, I think probably one of the things that gives me the most hope is having spent 26 years working with 18 to 21-year-olds,
Wow.
roughly. Having seen...
You started before the current lot were born.
Oh,
Well
yeah,
and truly.
way before the current lot. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's mind-boggling, isn't it?
When I see those students, and particularly, but not exclusively, the way the young women hold themselves in the space and the way they encounter societal attitudes, but also the men's attitudes in the room, I feel hopeful about gender inequality.
That's really, and do you think that's really changed in those 20 plus years?
It really, really has. It really has, and it's sped up. I think over the last 5 years, I've seen much more confidence in young women claiming the space of feminism. What are you hopeful for, Simon? Or are you hopeful?
Well, I really respond. I really love what you've just described in terms of your experience of young women and the way in which they, I guess, express agency is probably one way to well, that's what I sort of think I hear when I hear you talking about that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that fills me with enormous hope. Yeah, it's really because if I don't think about it, I think I'm a hopeful person. But then when you ask the first question you asked, which is what am I hopeful about, I find that really difficult to come up with anything. Like nothing jumps out at me because I get a little bit. I'll do the flip side to give you a sense of how much thinking about our world disappoints me. For example, if I go into a shop, I went because I was in Coventry the other day, and they don't. I had to go into a sort of, I guess, a regular kind of little mini mart or mini market or whatever you call them. What do you call them? Off license kind of thing.
Oh, corner shop.
Corner shop,
spa,
exactly. Yeah.
That kind
Yeah.
of,
Yeah, and all I can we call them a dairy in New Zealand or a milk bar in Australia. Milk bar. And all I can see is stuff to be consumed and resources being wasted. Like it's quite overwhelming. It's really and so it's very hard for me in those kinds of circumstances to and they're the most, it's a banal everyday but yeah, just even having lunch with some friends the other day, just everything just so deeply packaged and just unbelievably so. And that just really eats at me. And so, and to me, the kind of consumption of things and resources seems to overwhelm all the other sort of mini hopes you might say I have. And it's quite weighty. It's not particularly functional.
You sent me a text yesterday.
Oh dear, I can't remember what I said.
I sent you a picture of myself in a meeting looking bored. And
you did too.
And I was very, very, very bored.
Oh,
and that
this
meeting
photo
went
is
on
fantastic.
for hours.
Oh,
I mean,
I
literally
did say-
hours.
I'm just reading.
And you said, "Don't they know the world's going to
Don't
end?
they know the end is nigh?
There we go. Don't they know the end is nigh?" And I said, "No, but at least my beard looks good because my beard did look very nice in the photograph."
And I said, "You got to look good for the apocalypse."
to which I didn't respond because I thought, okay, so there are two references here to the end of the world that Simon is clearly holding, and I don't have the I didn't have the literal bandwidth because I was
in a meeting.
Yeah, and I really did have to. I had to keep speaking to things that people were asking questions.
You were probably worried
about.
that you'd type in the chat on your Zoom meeting that, but my beard looks ace.
I was more worried about typing in the chat, why do you think the world is going to end? which might have been a non sequitur too far, even for me in those moments.
Just to be clear, I wasn't. The end is nigh and the apocalypse. I was thinking of the same thing, not two different versions, if you know what I mean.
I understood that you were thinking that this was one thing, but one thing that warranted two messages, and I just thought, Simon's struggling with something.
Yeah,
and it's so that weightiness.
Yeah,
doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me that you just said that it's weighty.
Yeah,
for you.
It's not. I mean, it's not unbearable. I can sustain its weight, and I'm not. I'm not by any stretch of the imagination am I depressed or something like. It's not at all. But it's really present, and it's I would say bordering on dysfunctional, in terms of I can't like if I tried to make a decision about something at work, it comes back to resources. Really, we're going to spend money and time and energy, literally energy, not personal energy, and the planet's resources to do that. Really, that's where our priorities are. So it's.
Oh, that would, I can imagine that would be quite debilitating because, yeah.
So Greta Thunberg, she fills me with hope.
Yeah.
Deeply inspiring young person. But it's so curious because, like I say, it's more like a difference between a state and a trait. Is that I think my trait would be to be hopeful, to see things, to go, yeah, okay, let's do this. Yeah, that's great. Let's do that. But I think it's increasingly sort of states of disappointment doesn't seem like quite the right word. But
well, I was thinking that balancing the idea, you gave me the words hope and disappointment, but isn't the flip side of hope despair?
Yes, I'm not sure actually. I think you're right, but yes, I don't know enough about the words. But
because disappointment is, I bought an ice cream. And I was really looking forward to eating it, and a seagull stole it. I'm disappointed. I'm not despairing.
Yes,
at the idea.
Yes, disappointment's more like a brief thing.
Yeah.
I have I'm disappointed. A different reaction to that thing. I'm disappointed in you. I'm disappointed. Whatever. But yeah, but despair seems much more.
That must be really debilitating, not being able to make a decision about something at work when you've got this clanging bell in your head going, yes, but why are we doing this?
Yeah.
But why are we doing this?
Yeah.
I hadn't thought about that space in your head because I know how much you, I'm going to sound so ridiculous when I say I know how much you care about the planet.
Yeah, unlike everyone else.
Well, honestly, yeah, maybe.
Where do you reckon? You must be up 70th, 80th percentile in terms of care for the planet. Don't you think you're up pretty?
You are definitely, if we were to think statistically, you are definitely in the
top three.
Top three countries.
Top three in Barnes.
Top three in
sitting
Barnes
on their bed recording a podcast. With a felt donkey sitting on a picture and a post-it note next to it says badass. It's really I wanted to. Oh, we should. What are we doing? How are we going?
Just say what you want to say because we can.
I don't want to get into this. I don't want to get into this, but
get into
no,
it.
No,
Get
no,
into
no.
it.
It's because it's because I think that capacity for us to go into those dark alleys, and particularly as we were doing in relation to basically queer rights, right?
Yeah, which
It's not
ULs and FLs will have been cut out of this conversation already.
Exactly. And I was wondering, is it because the conversation's too just takes too much backpedaling, meaning in the sense of to put things in place before the conversation can be had? Or is it the sense that you have, which is partly my fear, is that we have strongly different opinions on it, that it would reveal, like you might say, a crack in our friendship? Or
Yeah. I am unconcerned about you and I having differing opinions about, let's say gender, race, or race politics. I understand that we don't sit on opposite sides of the divide, but we are far enough away that I think we could have a proper argument.
Yes.
But I also think that we would be arguing about something which is abstracted from our bodies.
Yes.
We have no skin in this fight. So it would come down to it would be an academic argument. And there are lots of people who I was going to say care about deeply, but that's not true. We've already established that I'm dead on the inside.
Well, it's just Sue and Mandy,
Thank you,
really.
Mandy and Sue.
Yeah. So
just they're the only people who remain held aloft in my heart like a little flame.
I mean, you've got a spreadsheet, but frankly, a spreadsheet is overkill, isn't it? When you've just got two people.
I've got a post-it note.
Which is peeling off the wall.
I was going to say, let's hope the glue sticks. I appreciate that what we would be doing is we would be arguing our points. We would be effectively engaged in a debate, and it would, in the best moments it would be a debate, in the worst moments it would be sophistry. So it would kind of be just one of those things where we could lose our shit with one another, and it's fine. I'm not worried about anybody hearing that, and I'm not worried about the cracks that would appear in our friendship, because the cracks are there. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we would make them bigger by arguing about those things. I think all we would do is understand each other better. The backpedaling is about recognizing that we don't have any skin in this fight. And that I equivocate to such a great degree in order to hedge around the feelings of people who are listening to this, on whom
do have skin in the game.
Narratives land. Exactly. Because I don't mind the idea that I might misspeak. I don't mind the idea that I get things wrong. I do it all the time. But I do mind the idea that I might hurt somebody as a result of misspeaking.
Yeah, it's really interesting. It's funny because the thing I understand the idea of not having skin in the game in principle, and yet then there's I actually have quite a strong feeling of well, shouldn't all of us humans care enough to be having those conversations? That actually the skin in the game is being human.
And that's where we are on opposite sides of a semantic divide. Because, yeah, you're right, but then I'm going to say the lived experience is different than the one that's that utopian perspective that you want to try and occupy. That's where, the hopeful, you want to allow the incel to have dignity in order to be able to recombine them into society. And I get that, and I respect your capacity for kindness and forgiveness, and I don't share it because I guess that's where I don't have hope.
Mm.
I guess that's where I lean into despair.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I really feel I have no desire to continue to try and make a point right now.
Nor do I.
Yeah, I'm really serious. I don't. Yeah.
I tell you what I can do.
You can Vogue?
I can do the Vogue rap.
Go on.
Okay.
I'm positively excited.
I am cutting this out, but
no,
because I'll get halfway through and I'll get it wrong. But Greta Garbo, Anne Munro, Dietrich and DiMaggio, Marlon Brando, Jimmy Dean, on the cover of a magazine. Grace Kelly, Harlow Jean, pictures of a movie queen. Jean Kelly, Fred Astaire, Ginger Rogers, Dance on Air. They had style, they had grace. Rita Hayworth gave good face. Lauren, Catherine, Ladder 2, Bailey Davis, we love you. Ladies with an attitude. Fellas, thou in. Don't just stand there, let's get to it. Strike the pose, there's nothing to it.
Gave good face. What does that mean? I never understood what that meant.
It comes out of bowl culture. If we were to watch, what should we go and? What's the recommended
what's that
thing?
Yeah, what is that?
Paris is
Thank
Burning.
you.
Go and watch
Thank
Paris
you.
is Burning. Yeah.
Oh,
That will give you a better sense of it.